It's Wednesday, March the 29th, 2023. Ooh. It's hot. Why is that? Why is my mic really hot? See if that takes care of it. Weird. Anyway, do I sound louder than normal? Weird. I don't know. Sound louder than normal? Maybe that's better. I don't know. For some reason the meter is like peaking like crazy, but do I sound okay? Do I sound like I always do? Let me know. Let me know if I sound like I always do. Do it a tad louder. Yeah, this is like a tad louder. Let me just, you're gonna hear double. So 1 second. Yeah, that is very loud. I'm peaking. 1 sec. Hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? Is that better? How's that? That better? Blah, 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 blah. I wonder why that is. That should be better. That should be more in line of where I usually am. But I had to bring that meter down, which I've never had to do before in my life. You're clipping, Dave. Thank you. Thank you, Slaughtered Lamb. Thank you, Darren. How do I sound now? Do I sound better now? I was. That song was probably clipping too. Hang on, I'm just gonna act like myself. See how this sounds. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Blah 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 blah. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? What's shaking? What's doing? That's so weird. I'm gonna have to get that figured out. Rosalia says Dave is always loud. It's true. It's true. I am. But I had to like really bring that down. That's so strange. Anyway, well, yeah, that seems even loud too. Let me bring myself blah, blah, blah there. Maybe there. Maybe there. Maybe that's a good one. All good now? Okay. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday, March the 29th, 2023, 7:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, for the Slaughtered Lamb, Darren, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's after midnight. It's after I had to count my 1, 2, 3, 4. It's after midnight. If you're on the West Coast, it's only 4 p.m. It's crazy. We're living all around the world, folks. All around the world. So yeah, busy last couple of days for me. I've been busy. I don't even know what the hell's going on in the world. You know what I watched for the first time yesterday? I watched The Fabelmans. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was a really great film. Really good movie. And I enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm a Spielberg fan. So, you know, I enjoyed... I thought Michelle Williams was tremendous. I thought she was fantastic in that role. I thought she was really good. And I thought everybody was great. Everybody was great. It was great to see Seth Rogen, although it was great to see Seth Rogen in a movie where he's not constantly going, whatever. It's kind of like an Eddie Murphy, Seth Rogen / Eddie Murphy. But, you know, his laugh, right? Although it did kind of come out a couple of times, but it was nice to see him in a drama. I liked it a lot. And then we also watched a movie from 1999 that I hadn't seen. One of my girlfriend's favorites, which is The Talented Mr. Ripley, the one with Matt Damon and Jude Law and Cate Blanchett. Really liked that movie. I thought that was really great. I'd heard of it, of course, and I remember when it came out. I just never saw it. Saw it, watched it, really liked it a lot. Hang on. Blah, blah. Blah, blah. My cloud lifter's doing something a little weird. Anyway, really liked it. Really liked it. So watched that one. And then we also watched one from just a couple of years ago with Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman, I think it was called. That was really good. If you guys haven't checked out Promising Young Woman, you got to check out Promising Young Woman. She was promising. She had a lot of promise. Let's just put it that way. No, that was a good movie too. So, and then we started watching this mini series on Netflix called Hollywood. Listen, it's good. I'm liking it so far. A lot of sex. If you're a guy, it might make you feel a little uncomfortable because there's a lot of homosexuality. But I actually liked it. Like, so we've watched like four episodes out of 7. But just it's actually really well put together, really well acted. Takes place in the early 50s, I think, late 40s, 1952, I think. And it doesn't shy away from sort of the, shit that goes on in Hollywood. How some people get jobs and all that kind of stuff. And but the set decoration is really good, and the acting is really good, and it's supposed to be Paramount Studios, but they changed it to Ace Studios for the show. I think they probably did that because of the subject matter. But I really like it so far. It's a mini series, 7 episodes, but it's good. I liked it. I think the lead guy looks like Henry Cavill, not as buff as Henry Cavill, and a bit younger than him, I would imagine. But if you want another Superman with a Henry Cavill-esque, I forget the guy's name now, but really good. Like, he kind of looks like Henry Cavill. If I was James Gunn, I would be seeking him out for Superman. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe he looks a little too much like Henry Cavill, but I'm like, this dude could play Superman. Based on looks. He'd have to buff up a little bit, but based on looks, oh yeah, hands down, Superman. Done. In my opinion. Anyway, so we were watching that. Well, it's pretty good. Anyway, some super chats came in. I know £2 came in from Sean Sheridan. Thank you. Or €2, excuse me. €2. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. And then let's get the super chat here. Andrew Stevens, my man, sends in $10. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. And says, so close to IMB2 campaign. Yes, we are. Everyone be ready. We need to get this campaign in demand. We did it once and we shall do it again. I could not agree more, Andrew. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're basically a month out now from the release of the Indiegogo campaign for It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. We're very excited about it. We are continuing to work hard behind the scenes and to try and be as prepared as we possibly can to hopefully deliver the best product that we possibly can within the confines of the budget. I mean, obviously, when you have a $5 million budget, you can do more things. You can add more people. You can go to more locations. You can spend more time, yeah. But within the confines of what we want to deliver, which is essentially the second half of the movie. I mean, that's really how, that's what it is, right? It's the second half of our 2-part story. It's our own miniseries, really, right? But instead of being like a 7-part or a 8-part miniseries, it's a 2-part miniseries. So yeah, we are excited about it, and we're going to need all the help that we can get, especially in those first few weeks. Because like I've mentioned many times, with Indiegogo campaigns, it's so important that we have a strong showing right out of the gate, because you will always hit that lull kind of in the middle. We're going to run the campaign for 2 months. So we're going to run it till July 1st. And there's always that lull in the middle, right? Where things slow down and so it's so important that we have a real strong outing. If we can raise 30 or 40% in our first few weeks, that would be great, because then we can then be afforded to have a bit of a slow period. But if we don't do well out of the gate and then we run into a wall, that's not good either, right? So it's really important we have a a good showing right out of the gate. But yeah, we're excited, Andrew, you know, and I believe we can do it again too. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. Raising money is never easy. I mean, unless of course you have 30 million Twitter followers or something, then you just kind of go, hey, do this. And then, you raise the money in 5 minutes. But crowdfunding for indie horror movies is never easy. Especially short films. But we believe we can do it. We did it once before. We believe we can do it again, and we're very excited about it. So yeah, getting very close, folks. Mark your calendars. May the 1st, Indiegogo campaign for It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. That's when we begin crowdfunding. We want this movie to be greenlit. Technically, the movie's not greenlit yet because we don't have the money. So we need to raise the money, and as soon as the budget is raised, that movie is greenlit and we move right into pre-production. Very exciting stuff. May the 1st, start putting away those quarters and those loose change and the extra $5 you had and just fucking put it in that little piggy bank. And we would really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Super chat comes in from Josh McKenna. Thank you, Josh, for the $9.99. Says, one of two. I hate it when old movies are converted into color. What is the purpose of turning a black and white movie into color? It makes the movie look like shit. Two of two. What are some of your favorite Steve Martin movies? Oh, okay. Not related. Yeah, I don't like that either. There's been a few movies that I've seen that done too. I don't know if there is a specific reason why they do it other than maybe just to try and modernize it a bit and appeal to more of a modern audience, maybe. I don't know, but I'm with you. If a movie is shot in black and white and it was always in black and white, then it should always remain black and white. I mean, I think, was it Psycho that did a colorized version? Was it Psycho? I can't remember. There was some colorized version of some movie like that I watched, and I was like it just loses its, I mean, listen, it's relative too, right? Like if you grew up watching a colorized version of a black and white movie and the color version is all you know, then it would probably be very weird to go back and watch the original, right? The black and white version. You'd be like, this is kind of weird because you grew up with the color one. But yeah, if you grew up with the original movie of anything that is black and white, yeah, it can for sure be very weird and blasphemous to then watch it in color. Yeah, no, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you. And what are some of my favorite Steve Martin movies? Oh, God. The Jerk, his very first feature film from 1979, I believe. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen The Jerk, you've got to see The Jerk. It's hilarious. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, of course. That's him and John Candy, but I just love that movie. Father of the Bride, I think, is fantastic. Bowfinger, I think, is really underrated. You know, what else? The Three Amigos with him and Chevy Chase and Martin Short. What's that one where he's the, why am I blanking on this? Why am I blanking on this? I'm going to look this up. Why am I blanking on this? Leap of Faith. That's it. Leap of Faith. My girlfriend introduced me to that one, and she loves that movie, and it's so funny. If you guys haven't, it's really hard to get now. Like you can't even, I don't think it was ever released on Blu-ray. The DVD's really hard to get. But if you ever get a chance to watch Leap of Faith with Steve Martin, watch Leap of Faith with Steve Martin. It's really funny. He plays this, well, he's a charlatan. He's like a preacher, but he's a phony. And it's really funny. Anyway, that, of course, God, there's so many good ones. Roxanne is really good. Yeah, he's great. He's a legend, right? He's one of those big comedic titans from our generation. He's just amazing. Raymond M sends in $5, says, any idea why Shazam Part 2 only made $30 million and instead of the $100 million that they'd hoped? The budget is around $200 million. Any lessons to be learned? Well, Raymond, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of variables why a movie will either not meet the projections or not do well. I mean, there's many variables. One of the variables could be that the previous movie was not very good. Well, that's not the case with Shazam, because I actually liked the first Shazam. That was pretty good. And it did all right. So I don't think it was because people just hated the first one. Then you could chalk it up to maybe marketing. It just wasn't marketed well. You know, I mean, I know that a lot of superhero fans, you know, you'll often hear people talk about superhero fatigue. And I know there's a lot of superhero fans, and maybe they're a lot, and to be fair, maybe they are a lot smarter than me when it comes to this kind of stuff, because I'm not neck deep into the superhero side, but I can't help but feel that there's also a bit of a bias there, that we don't want to admit that maybe something has run its course, that maybe something is feeling a little tired. That doesn't mean that you can't inject some adrenaline into it and revitalize it, right? It's like walking into a house that needs a paint job. You know, I mean, the superhero genre, and it really is a genre now, whether it's, I mean, yes, Marvel has been far more successful than DC has, but between Marvel and DC, all the movies, all the money, all the hoopla, all the story, all the hype, all the passion, all the nostalgia, I mean, it's been running like on fire at full tilt, pedal to the metal now for over a decade. I mean, it's not sustainable. You know, eventually at some point, things are going to die down. I don't mean die, but at some point you're going to run out of gas. Just, you know, hit after hit after hit after hit, billion after billion after billion. I mean, it's not sustainable indefinitely, right? There's going to be a stinker in there somewhere, or people are going to get a little tired, or the kids that were really into those movies when it first started are now under their 20s and maybe into something else. And the people that were in their 20s that may have been into it, that you know, are now in their 30s and are married and are preoccupied with kids and work and jobs. And I mean, who knows, right? I'm not saying that is the reason. I'm just saying that I think some fans get so locked into the bubble that they're like, no, there's no superhero fatigue. Well, maybe there is. I don't mean that is the sole cause, but maybe there is a little bit of that, right? Like I said, it's like doing a nice paint job on a house, but if you have a lot of parties in that house and a lot of alcohol and a lot of joints and tobacco being tossed around, there's a lot of wonderful parties. Eventually, you're going to walk into that house one day and go, holy shit, you know, this place could use a paint job. It's kind of looking a little drab, you know, the novelty's kind of worn off. You know, and that could be happening with some of the superhero stuff, right? That could be happening. Another case in regards to Shazam could be that, you know, because of what's happened with the DCU or EU, and obviously now, you look at Black Adam, and you look at sort of like these movies aren't going anywhere. They're not setting anything up, and people are so used to cinematic universes and everything meaning something, and one movie leading into another movie, which leads into another movie. And of course, Shazam, like that part of the DCU is over. It's done. So people might be like, well, what's the point of going to see it then? You know, even though, you know, I come from a generation, maybe you do too, where there were standalone films all the time. You didn't need a movie that necessarily, you know, rolled into the next one. But that's the Marvel model, and that's what a lot of fans have been used to. And they look at this now and they go, what's the point of seeing Shazam 2 when they're never going to make another Shazam with Zachary Levi? Because that part of the thing's down. And then what's the point of going to see Black Adam when Henry Cavill's not, and then why would I get excited? And then what's the point of giving, it'll be very interesting to see how The Flash does, because even that's going nowhere as far as we know, right? Unless I'm missing something, that's going nowhere. Right? Unless they're going to create another thing. Who knows? So that could be part of it as well, right? They're just not motivated because they know it leads nowhere. That's also possible. There's a variety of reasons why. Yeah, I don't really know, but it's going to be one of those, right? I don't think it's because that nobody liked the first one, because a lot of people did. I think people are just like, oh God, another, you know, I know that's how I feel sometimes. Like, you know, I'm like, God, another one, you know, whether like whatever it is, I'm like, God, another one, you know what I mean? So yeah, could be a variety of things. Varietyism. Do. All right. Let me just close some of these tabs here. Okay, let's see. What do we got going on? What do we got going on here? Let's see. Wayne Turner says, too many superhero movies released. They need to take a break, so they are missed, along with quality down for some. Yeah, I mean, they will continue to make them until they don't make any money. So if you want, when I say you, I mean, all of us, right? If we want Hollywood to stop making something, you have to stop putting money into it. That's it. Like, it actually really is that simple. It's like, no, it's easier said. No, it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Hollywood doesn't care if story arcs are incomplete. They don't care. I mean, they want you to care so they can continue to make, but they don't care. Like I've always said on this channel, look at all the television shows that get canceled, and it's like, but I'm not going to know what happened. But what about the cliffhanger? What about John? And what about Lucy? And did they, didn't they, will they, won't they? I'm never going to know. Yep. Why? Well, nobody watched it. Yeah, but I was watching it. Yeah, but not enough people were watching it. So done. Yeah, but you didn't finish it. Well, yeah. And we won't, and we can't because nobody's watching it. We can't spend money when we're not making money. So if you want, oh God, another one, don't go see it. Don't buy it. Don't go see it. See, that's easier said than done. That's easier said than done. It's not hard to get Hollywood to stop making shit. You just don't go see it. You don't put money into it, right? That's easy. The hard part is actually convincing people to do it, right? You know what I mean? That's the hard part because people will still go see it. And they continue to make it. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Evil Alex says, as horror fans, we know Hollywood makes sequels till everybody hates it and don't care anymore. Well, they just make sequels until it stops, until the money isn't there and the interest dies down. Hollywood follows trends, and as soon as those trends are not hip anymore, they stop. As soon as those trends are not hip anymore, they stop. And it's that easy. You know what I mean? So if you don't want any more Halloween movies, famous last words, if you don't want any more Halloween movies, don't watch Halloween. Now, I understand that it takes an entire village to make that happen, and one person not watching Halloween, not a big deal. But if there's if everybody didn't, enough Halloween, enough, well, then they won't make them. But of course, you want Halloween. You want Halloween. I don't care. I want 55 million Halloween movies. And there's nothing wrong with that either. They love you. You're the people they love. They want it. They want it. They want it. Let me see here. Trying to find a name I haven't recognized. Sam Haines. Oh yeah, Sam Haines Knight says, you got Lynn Griffin. Well done. Interest peaked even further. Yeah, Lynn and I have well, it's funny because when we were doing the Indiegogo campaign for It's Me, Billy Chapter 1, I had reached out to Lynn and asked if I could do an interview with her. That's on my channel. It was a McRae Live. If you just type in Dave McRae, Lynn Griffin, or McRae Live, you can find it. And that's when I first met her, and it was a lot of fun. And then but through that interview, I forget if it was during the interview on camera or if it was off camera when, or off, being live when we were just talking amongst ourselves. But I found out that we have the same voiceover agent, which is awesome. It's Jude Foster of Foster Talent in Toronto. And I was like, oh, no way, you're with Foster Talent. Yeah, I'm with Jude. So there was sort of a common, the entertainment industry is very big, but it can also be very small too at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. So to be able to sort of talk shop with her in terms of that, but she's a very nice lady, and she made some Black Christmas ornaments, the Christmas balls, which were part of our Indiegogo campaign last time. She does them every year anyway for Black Christmas fans. And I think she's doing snow globes now too, which is really interesting. But she has a picture of herself in the rocking chair, right? The bag over her head, and she signs it, Lynn Griffin, and she puts it inside the Christmas ball, and you can hang it on your tree, which is really cool. Or in the case now, she's doing snow globes as well, which is really fun. So we hit it off. She's very nice, very sweet. Obviously we have something in common with the same agent. And, the situation with, I don't want to say too much, cause I don't want to reveal too much about her character. Again, this is short film, guys, right? This isn't a feature film. So it's not like, it's a short film, right? It's going to be probably the same length as the first one. But her character is, we had had her in mind for a while. We reached out to her last week, had a Zoom call with her, myself and Bruce, talked shop, obviously, got caught up and talked about a role that we wanted her to play in the film, if she was interested, of course. And she said, absolutely, which is fantastic. And so we sent over the script, and she read it, and she thought it was fantastic. And she really thought that the writing was really great. And she's totally in. So but of course, it's like we knew that her character in the original had died, right? Clara died. So we thought, why don't we bring her back if she's interested to play somebody else? But there needs to be an emotional connection there, not just for the fans, but there needs to be a reason why, I don't want to bring her back and just have her like, Barb, the convenience store clerk, right? So I thought, why don't we bring her? If that's all she wanted to do was a cameo, we might be able to find something for her. But this is a role that has a arc, and it's emotionally connected to the past because she is doing double duty. She's now playing the sister of the character that she played in the original. And so that's fun. And so she obviously has an an emotionally invested interest in this situation, because obviously her sister, being Claire, died at the hands of Billy 50 years ago. And so Nancy, which is her name, it's not Nancy because of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just we were looking for a name that would have been common to girls that were being born in the 1950s. And Nancy was a common name. And I thought, that's nice. Nancy and Claire, I could totally see that. So she's playing Nancy, the sister of Claire. And obviously, yeah, she's carried that for her whole life, not knowing what truly happened, even though it's case closed. She still believes it's a cold case, as a lot of people do. And of course, as we found out in It's Me, Billy, Chapter 1, that even Jess Bradford started to kind of have doubts, right? You know what I mean? It's like, I think my grandmother started to have doubts. Why? Well, like even she was starting to have some doubts, right? So, so that's all I'll say on that. But we were thrilled that she said yes. And, I think she's so, Lynn is just, she's one of these people that is just, her personality. She's so nice, infectious, positive, I haven't worked with her yet, obviously, but I get that team player sense, professional, totally professional when you need to be professional, but a lot of fun when you can let loose too. And so we just can't wait to work with her and to bring her back to the Black Christmas world in a role that is still emotionally connected to the past. See, if Lynn had been the convenience store clerk, okay, that's a cute cameo, but you don't really feel anything there, right? You might in terms of nostalgia, but we didn't want it just nostalgia. We wanted there to be a purpose. We wanted it to be properly motivated, right? And to have sort of a purpose for her being there and taking on, another character. So She said yes. And so very exciting indeed. More casting news, obviously, to come. Victoria, obviously, as you know, is returning to play Sam. Caro is returning to play Agnes. Brian Charles Peter. Billy, myself, the voice of Billy. But there's still a couple more casting to go, obviously. So, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you very much. It's fun. We're very excited. We were very excited to make the announcement yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, right? Yeah. Very excited indeed. So, yeah. All right. Let me see here. Super chat comes in from Harry Hagen, my man. Harry Hagen sends in a super chat, $2, says, do you think non-Jamie Lee Curtis fans hated she won the Oscar? Non-Jamie Lee Curtis fans? I don't know. Look, Harry, you're always going to get people out there that hate for hate's sake, right? I remember, there are people that hate me just to hate me. They don't know me. They don't like me. They just don't like how I am on YouTube, but they don't know me. They don't know how I am off here. They don't know who I am as a person, as an individual, things that I've done in my life. Like, they don't know me, right? They just don't like what they think I am, right? Or how they interpret me. Right. And that's always going to be like that. But to be fair, when you are a public figure like Jamie Lee Curtis, you can only judge based on what she shows, right? And sometimes, she can come across a certain way or be a bit preachy or whatever, and people don't like that. Or you're always going to get people that hate for the sake of being hate. Non-Jamie Lee Curtis fans, I don't think so. I would actually think, what did you say? Non-Jamie Lee Curtis? Yeah, okay, yeah, non-Jamie Lee Curtis fans. So basically you're saying people that just don't like Jamie Lee Curtis. I feel like my lips bleeding there for a minute. I have some dry lips. Yeah, possibly, you'll get people hating for the sake of hating. Listen, I'm happy she won from a nostalgic, legendary, symbolic, because she's a legend, who her parents were. I'm happy for that she won. But I still stand by that I liked Everything Everywhere All at Once. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was fun. It was different. Totally understand why it would win like best editing or, maybe even best director. I totally understand that. But best picture of the year, I think personally, that movie is getting is overrated. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis won best support. She was fun. She was great. But at no point in time did I walk away from that going, oh, look out for her, man. Look out for... No, not at all. There was nothing like there's a few awards that it won. I'm like, okay, all right. Maybe a slow year, I guess, for the Oscars. So I think you might have people that are surprised. And then you have people that are like, yeah, well deserved. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, she mentioned us. She said thank you to all our genre fans. Oh, and they get, they jizz all over the place. See, there's people that are going to be watching this right now. They're not going to like that. Not going to the way I say that because they think that I'm, and it's like, it's just a joke, guys. It's a joke. Relax. It's so easy to piss people off on the internet. But I'm happy for it. Like I am. Like I'm happy that it's kind of cool. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. All right. Because I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, I don't like everything she posts. And sometimes I think she can be a little pretentious and condescending with her activism. But I certainly, from a purely symbolic standpoint, I think it's pretty cool. I don't think it was the strongest performance of the year. So do I think she deserved it based on that? No. But do I think that, there's a little bit of symbolism around that in terms of, it's like a legacy of, it's cool. I'm happy for her. It's cool. But yeah, for sure, there would be some non-Jamie Lee Curtis fans that just hate for the sake of... haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. Raymond says, Reddit says a Dr. Loomis TV series is next year. Well, hey, if Reddit says, there you go. Who does it come from? Michael Myers fan 3624? I don't know. No idea. I haven't heard anything, but it's possible. Movie Chat More Part 2 sends in £10. Says, hey, Dave, after decades, I finally decided my favorite movie of all time actually isn't Halloween 78. It's The Breakfast Club, hands down. Do any movies creep into your top 5, pushing aside Shawshank? I got to be honest with you. I don't really give it much thought, Richard. there's so many movies that, you know, it can be interchangeable. I mean, The Breakfast Club is a great movie, though. Don't you forget about me. It's a great film. Any movies that push aside, Shawshank I think will always be in there. I haven't really given it much thought. I don't know what my favorite movie is of all time. I don't really know. Like, I can go by genre, you know, like my favorite horror movies, Halloween, you know, but just my favorite movie, period, I don't know. I think it's very difficult as a movie person. I'm not saying you're not a movie person. I'm just saying, generally speaking, I think it's easier for non-movie or people maybe that don't make movies or it's easier to, I don't know though. I don't know. You do hear like Scorsese and Spielberg talk about their favorite. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't given it much thought. You know, they're all my children. It's like, how can I pick one? I love them all. But I mean, off the top of my head, like a top 5 for me would be like Shawshank, Green Mile, maybe Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like we're just talking like movies, period. Halloween and like, I don't know, you know, Raiders maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard. I'm like, oh, what about Jaws? You know, what about fucking, what about, you know, I don't know, The Mosquito Coast, or what about, like, there's just so many, you know, what happened to Baby Jane, you know, Sunset Boulevard, you know, there's just so many. It's really hard. It's a good question. I'll have to give it more thought. Raymond M follows up with $2, says, since A24 won all awards, what does it mean for A24? Well, I mean, you know, good things. People will want to work with A24. People will want to, it means that they will get the financing they need to make money, to make movies. Because remember that the movies that, you know, the money that studios spend on movies is borrowed money. It's not like Warner Brothers has a vault in the basement and they're like, okay, we're going to spend $200 million on this Superman movie. So they go into the basement and they turn the big wheel and they open it up. You smell that green? I can smell that green. And they go in there and there's just bricks and layers and layers of cash. And they're like, here we go, right here. There's 200 million. Obviously, I know you guys know that. I'm being theatrical, but there's some people that actually think that, you know, think that maybe they just have all this money. That's not how it works, right? It's borrowed money. They borrow that money, and there's interest on that too, right? They have to pay that money back. So obviously A24 winning all kinds of Oscars would probably they make low budget. They're not making like $200 million superhero movies. However, if A24 ever wanted to expand, you know, like let's say they, you know, they're usually in the ballpark of making like, you know, 20 million budget movies, 30 million, you know, things like that. Maybe now they can creep into the 50 million territory. I mean, maybe they already have, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, for the sake of argument, right? You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, listen, man, we borrow this money. Listen, we're Oscar winners now, you know, and actors the same way, right? If you're an Academy Award-winning actor, yeah, you absolutely can demand more. You can demand more in salary, you can demand more in pay. You can start to demand maybe, you know, back end, residuals, percentages, things like that for sure. So it does have an effect. It's great. It's great for A24. It's great for especially A24 because they're an independent. I mean, maybe not for long, but you know, they're not Warner Brothers. They're not Paramount. They're not Universal, Sony. You know, they're a lot bigger than me, but they're the little guys in that pond, but they're starting to get bigger. You know, they're great. I love A24. They produce some great shit. They knock out some great stuff and acquire some great stuff too. I believe they also acquire for distribution as well. So yeah, lots of stuff. Could mean a lot of stuff for them. Matthew Farisi sends in $4.99. Thank you, Matthew. Says, not long before the new Indiana Jones movie, I'm so long overdue for a rewatch of the franchise, but almost 10 years since I've seen them. Indiana Jones is fucking great. Indiana Jones is great. I love Indiana Jones. I love Harrison Ford. I'm excited too. June 30th, Matthew. June 30th. Yeah, this is it. I mean, listen, Ford right now is doing 1923. He's doing Shrinking. He's doing TV. Obviously he is playing that role, whatever it is in that Marvel movie. But like I've said many times, I think this is Harrison Ford's last well, it's definitely his last go around as Indiana Jones. I think it's going to be the last Indiana Jones movie for a while, because I think I read somewhere that Lucasfilm is planning to focus solely on Star Wars for the foreseeable future, and kind of, so, I mean, who knows? Because I think they shot down like a Disney or indie series or something. Listen, you never say never. I mean, if Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny makes $1.5 billion, maybe we rethink this. You know what I mean? But I'm not even convinced that it's going to make $1 billion. If it's really good, if it's fucking fantastic, oh my God, you got to say the Dial of Destiny, then yeah, okay. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Dial of Destiny ends up making like, 800 million, 900 million, something. That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably do that as we get closer to June. Rewatch them all. Pop in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Gotta rewatch it. It's great stuff. Not long now. Gentilon James sends in $5. Thanks, buddy. Says there's a hot babe that works at my local comic shop who has a Michael Myers tattoo and the biggest, fattest, roundest, bounciest, jiggliest. Let me see here. Tushy? Maybe it's Tushy. Maybe that's what it is. Well, man, get in there. Find out if she's single. Ask her if she's available. Say that you're a Halloween fan. Say, listen, I'm a Halloween fan. You got a Michael Myers tattoo and the biggest, fattest, roundest, bounciest, jiggliest. Derriere, maybe a Derriere. Raymond M sends in $5, says Scream 6 made $140 million, destroying Halloween Ends and Shazam 2. Will we get another Scream sequel? And does Blumhouse hold the rights to Halloween still? We will get there's no doubt we will get a Scream 7. Whether Radio Silence is going to do it or not, I don't know, but we will definitely get a Scream 7 for sure. And Blumhouse does not hold the rights to Halloween anymore, no. Now, after Halloween Ends, the rights reverted back to the Akkad. So Malik Akkad holds all the cards right now. What he wants to do with that, I don't know. Whether that is Season of the Witch, which I do believe is in. When I say in the works, I don't mean there's active movement. Well, and there might be active movement, but that's not what I mean when I say that. But there's rumblings. There's movement, I think, happening with that, but I'm not saying they're ready to make an announcement yet. So I think they will, but what they'll do with Michael Myers, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do with Myers. It's kind of hard to say. There's a certain section of the fan base that just doesn't care. They just want Michael. They hope the movies are good, but at the end of the day, they don't really care as long as they get Michael Myers. Like at the end of the day, right? When push comes to shove, yeah, well, I hope the movie's good. Obviously, I don't want to watch a bad movie, but I don't really care. I just want Michael Myers. There's that section of the fan base. Then and I consider that like, well, no, that's not really extreme, but it's kind of on the extreme. And then there's people like me that are like, hey, I'm done. I'm out. And like I always say, we're all Halloween fans. Nobody's right. It's not like I'm right and they're wrong, or they're wrong and I'm right. It's nothing with that. It's just we're all Halloween fans, just different strokes for different folks, right? But I'm of the mindset where it's like, no, I'm good. I'm done. Now listen, ask me again in 10 years and I might be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's have Michael Myers. That's fucking for sure. But as of right now, I'm full. I'm content. I'm happy. I have the good movies, the bad movies, the ugly movies. I have 4 different timelines, 150 different Michael Myerses, 3,721 different masks, 3 Dr. Loomises. I'm okay. I'm okay. 3 different versions of Laurie Strode, or 2 different versions of Laurie Strode, I guess. I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine. I'm content. I'm happy. At this point in time, they could never make another Michael Myers movie ever again, and I'd be okay. So there's and that's not because I don't like Halloween. It's because I like Halloween. I'm good, guys. I'm good. You don't need to do this. I mean, at the very least, wait like a decade or something. Like, you don't need to, you know what I mean? So people like me. And then there's people in the middle, that are kind of like, well, I really want something. I want some Michael Myers, but maybe do it like this, or maybe do it like that, or whatever. The only thing that would, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'll watch anything Halloween, of course. If they say they're doing a Dr. Loomis Netflix series, okay, I'll watch it. If they say they're doing a Michael Myers in Smith's Grove Netflix, okay, yeah, I'll watch it. I don't want them to do that for the variety of reasons that I've said. But what would get me really excited, which would probably piss a lot of people off, is that film noir thing that Tony Michael and I talked about, right? Where it's like, it's telling the Halloween story again, but it's not like telling the story again, but now 1963 becomes 2003 and 1978 becomes 2018. Well, I guess you couldn't do that because then it'd be like Halloween 18, but you know what I mean, right? Like just kind of telling the exact same thing, but just bumping up the decades to make it more relevant. It's like, no, I don't. So it's about a little kid, puts on a clown mask, walks up, kills his sister, comes back down, goes away 50. I don't want to, I'm done. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'll watch it, but I'm good. I think go back to the 50s, right? That film noir, nuclear family, the last decade before the sexual revolution, Vietnam War, all that kind of stuff, right? It's that Leave It to Beaver sort of decade. Loomis is not a psychiatrist. He's a cop from Chicago with a trench coat and a fedora, and he's got to go to this little, town because there's something going on. Like, just kind of tell the story again, but from a different, it's a reimagining. It's a reimagining with parallels. That would excite me, because if it fails, okay, it fails. Who gives a fuck? I still got the original, it's okay. But I would be like, oh, this is interesting. Okay. And it's like black and white, old school film noir, thunder, lightning kind of shit. Yeah, I'm in. That would get me excited because it's telling the Halloween story again, but in a different way. But just like announcing, well, Paramount's doing Halloween again, and they've hired, this guy to be Michael Myers, this guy to be little Michael Myers, but it's the same story. Like do you know what I mean? Whereas the 50s noir version, Tony and I had Michael and Judith the same age, and they went to high school together, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and it's kind of cool, right? A bit of a different kind of take on it, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that kind of stuff. I don't want to hear that they're just telling the exact same story again, but just setting it in a different, in a different decade. Oh God, please no, please don't do that. At least wait a while. Wait till I'm 75, because then you can set it in wait till 2000 wait till 2063. Set it in 2063. He escapes in 2078. 100 years, baby. So funny. Yeah, and then what else? Oh, hang on. Oh, some more came in. More gonna want to miss these little ones here. Sean Sheridan, just another €2. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Harry Hagan sends in $5. Harry, my man, says, does a shot list for a film contain every single time the camera changes angles, or just overall what the scene contains, and then there's some improv? No, a shot list. Well, listen, I mean, I guess in theory, it all depends on how, the director works. There's some people that storyboard an entire film, and there's some people that storyboard nothing. There's some people that storyboard half a film or certain scenes, right? So there's no hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, a shot list is every time a shot list is every time the camera changes. Yeah. So it's not just so yeah, I mean, if take the dining room scene in It's Me, Billy, right? So our shot list, I still have or does Bruce have the shot list? He might have the shot list. It was on like big paper and we were going through it. So, the shot list would say, medium, what were there? Was it medium, or say like the establishing shot would be on the Dana dolly, tracking from right to left. That's the establishing shot, showing the dining room. Then the next shot is, of course, of, we get the 3 leads around the table, right? So we mark that. Medium shot, Justine. Medium shot, Sam. Medium shot. Do you know what I mean? And then you get the tracking shot on the jib across the table. And then you get, so every time the camera changes, that is marked down. Yeah. 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 Because you have to know, and you have to know that going in. Listen, I mean, obviously on a big Hollywood shoot, of course they do that. But I'm amazed at the stories I've heard of indie shoots that don't do that. They don't have a shot list, and will just kind of like they have an idea of how they want to shoot it. So they show up to set and they just start to, you can't do, in my opinion, I mean, it all depends on the level that you're working at, right? If you're just having fun with your friends out in your backyard or at your mom's house or at your friend's house or whatever, and money isn't time, or time isn't money, then maybe it's not a big deal. But, in the case of like It's Me, Billy, or A Never Hike Alone, or A Dylan Zoo Nightmare, yeah, we're burning money and we've rented these places. And so you have to be as prepared. You've got to be on fucking point. You can't be standing there for half an hour figuring out how to shoot something. No, you already know how you're going to shoot it because you figured it out 3 months ago when you did the shot list. So you come to set and you start setting up, for that shot. So yeah, it's every time the camera changes. But I say generally because there might be some, I don't know, a tour out there or something who's like, no, I like to be dangerous. I like to be dangerous. Let's do it this way. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's Quentin Tarantino just has a half a shot list or something. I have no idea. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate that, man. Troy Grubb sends in $1.99 and says, hope you're having a great Wednesday, Dave. Well, I am, Troy. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, too. Thank you very much for that. Chester Franklin Jr. says, Dave, do you have some favorite episodes of Two Dudes and McRae live shows you have done? Keep up the good work. Thanks, Chester. Ooh, favorite episode. Oh, it's hard to say. I've done over 200 episodes of McRae Live, about 185 or 86 episodes of Two Dudes. I mean, you combine that together, it's nearly 400 live streams, 400 episodes. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look at the names of the episode. Like I have to go to the playlist and just kind of scroll through and go, oh, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a really, that was a good one. Because when I do a show and the show's done, I don't think about it after it's done, right? Like once Tony and I are done a show, it could be a great show where he's on his game, I'm on, my game, we're back and forth with each other, or something funny happens and we're just cracking. It was just a really, really good show. Well, after the show's done, that's it. The show's done and, we go on. So to think about it, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, certainly I will say that the Two Dudes episode where we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Netflix one, that was a funny episode. That was fun because, I was hamming it up, you know what I mean? Being theatrical, and every time, like the bus scene, I'm like going fucking crazy. Holy fucking yeah. That was a lot of fun, So there's episodes like that are really fun. And then there's episodes that are really good for a different reason. Maybe nothing funny happens, but Tony and I were just on point. Like I said, like he was on his game, I was on my game. We were really like, he had great ideas, I had great ideas. We were blending them together. You know what I mean? So that's always fun too. But specifically off the top of my head, I don't really know. Same with the McRae Lives. I'm like, oh God. I'd have to go back and just kind of scroll through. I've done so many, I don't know. It's a good question though. Thanks, Chester. Movie Chat and More Part 2 sends in £5, says, my Halloween ranking is 78, Halloween 4, H2O, Halloween 2, Halloween 2, 1981, Rob Zombies, 07, 2018, 5, 6, Resurrection, Kills, Rob Zombies 2, Ends. Friday is 4, 6, 2, 5, 1, 3, 7, 8, 10, and 9. All right, pretty good. Pretty good. Does anybody in the chat room like Richard's ranking for the Halloween franchise and the Friday the 13th franchise? Get that discussion going in the chat. Warren Armour says, maybe have Halloween featuring the Dawson's Creek cast. James Vanderbeek is now a father. Luke's father. That'd be funny. Next Gen Studio says, as for Halloween, I think they should do an anthology TV show for 50th anniversary, then a complete reboot for the movie for the 60th anniversary. Yeah. Could do. Is anybody here going to the 45th convention in Pasadena at the end of September? I don't think the tickets are on sale yet, but they should be soon. They should be soon, you know. Dave Vanderhoff says, Dave, I want you to see Scream 6 as soon as possible. We need your opinion. I still haven't seen it yet. I know, I still haven't seen it yet. Dave, what's wrong? Nothing. Why? Oh, no, it's not. It might have been. If my buddy Evan is watching, he's howling right now. Yeah, I do need to watch it. I do. Yep, I do. Just haven't watched it. Yeah. Although, like I said at the beginning of the show, I did watch The Fabelmans. Really like that. Watched The Talented Mr. Ripley. I know it's old. It's 24 years old. But I watched it for the first time yesterday. I really like that movie too. The remake with Matt Damon. I like that. And I watched Promising Young Woman, which is a good movie. It's creepy, but it's good. I recommend it. Harry Hagen says, the Two Dudes episode where you guys were watching Halloween 6, I overlaid the actual movie with your show. Looks awesome. I guess you couldn't provide that to your fans and patrons, right? It would have to be an unlisted. Well, maybe. I would love to be able to show the movie play out in real time. And some people, I've seen watch-alongs where some channels have done that. But I think I don't know how the algorithm works, but I wouldn't want to take that risk. Not that listen, I'll be totally honest with you. Not that my channel, I mean, obviously my channel is monetized, of course, but I mean, the channel's not, it doesn't make tons of money because it's not like I'm not getting 5 million views a video. So, but the Two Dudes episodes, every single Two Dudes episode, every single one, that's not hyperbole. Every single Two Dudes episode is basically, for all intents and purposes, not monetized because it will get a yellow $sign. You have to have a green $sign. Like after the live stream is done, YouTube does their check and they will either put a red line through the $sign saying this video cannot be monetized. You'll have a yellow one saying that it's limited, or you'll have a green one saying, no, you're free. Every single episode of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit has a yellow $sign. And it is not for the content. It's not for the content in the episodes, because when I do live shows like this or a McRae Live, I'm swearing, I'll drop F-bombs here and there. I'll be myself, right? They get monetized, no problem. I think it's because in the title of every video is what? The word bullshit. And I refuse out of principle to change it. Fuck it. Okay, so we can't make any money off of, not that we make a lot of, maybe $2 here, $3. Right, again, I mean, we're not, it's not like every episode's getting like 90,000 views, right? I think we average about, well, depending on what we're talking about, there's some Two Dudes episodes that are like 15,000. But I refuse, out of principle, I refuse to fucking do that. I'm like, no, screw your fucking algorithm. Ooh, it has bullshit in the title. It's like, yeah, fuck it. No. So, I don't know what got me off on that tangent. Yeah. That's right. I'm like, how did I get on that? Yeah. You were talking about the showing of the movie. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, but, it's still, I've even had unlisted links, get dinged. I have, believe it or not. I have. Private links, I don't know, but you have to invite people to a private link. You can't just send them a link. You have to actually get their emails and like invite them. And it's a whole thing. But I've actually had unlisted links get dinged. So I don't know. But yeah, I would love to be able to show it, but you know. Raymond M. Sends in $5. Thanks. Raymond says, is it possible Jamie Lee and Danielle Harris meet at the 45th convention? I don't really care for them, but I think it's possible they will meet again. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I can tell you that, Danielle Harris will be there for sure. She'll be there. Jamie Lee Curtis. There's little bits of information that I know. And I don't want to say anything because it's just too uncertain still. It's too uncertain. But Jamie is still like, you know, who knows? Who knows? I mean, she's an Oscar winner now, and she's probably getting some calls and some scripts, and I could see her not even being available then. She could be shooting a movie and not even available. So, John Carpenter, I know that they're trying to get John to go. But, you know, John, I think Sean Clark said this. I think he said this the other day when I had him on. Or did he just say it to me? I can't remember. Anyways, this is not like, nobody would care if I said this. Apparently John Carpenter only likes to do one convention a year, and he's already booked into a convention later in the year. So the chances of him being at the 45th is, you know, who knows? But they're trying. I think Nick Castle's trying to get him to, like, John, come on. Like, it's literally like it's down the street from where he lives. So it's like, John, come on. Like, it's literally down. He just has to get off his ass. He could walk there. He could fucking walk there. You know, he probably couldn't walk there, but it's literally down the street. I mean, you know, in his in LA, basically. I don't mean it's like literally right down the street, but it's close to where he lives. He doesn't have to go far. Just fucking go. Come on, John. People want to see you, man. The 45th. Come on, John. That'd be cool though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be cool to meet John Carpenter? I mean, he'd probably be a curmudgeon. He'd probably be like, oh, they're gonna fucking. He might, but it would still be cool, you know. I mean, I'd be like, John, can you tell me to fuck off? Oh, fuck you, McRae. Yeah. Can you imagine if I got that on fuck you, McRae? Playing it over and over again in slow motion. Fuck you, McRae. No. But, so that's, I mean, again, I know certain little things, but it's just too early for me to confirm anything. You know, but it's not a secret because Sean will talk about this on his channel too, because he knows some things, obviously, because he's helping to organize it. So, you know, I mean, but Danielle will be there. For sure. I mean, barring any sort of, I mean, she's got a role in the movie she's shooting, or she's sick, or, you know, whatever, right? But if her schedule is clear and she's not sick, she'll be there. She was at the 40th. I don't see any reason why she won't be at the 45th. Was she at the 40th? She had to have been at the 40th. Was she at the 40th? Yeah, she had to have been. I just don't remember. Why didn't I go over to her and talk to her? Weird. That's weird. I'm pretty sure she was there. Yeah, she had to have been. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember. Gentle on James sends in $5. Says, did you see the fan-made poster for Halloween in Space? I tweeted it to you. H90, 90 years later, Strode Station, do you copy? No, I didn't. You tweet it like in a DM, or you added me or whatever. I'll have to go back and take a look, buddy. And if I can find it, I'll heart it, and then that'll let you know that I've seen it. I haven't seen. That sounds funny. I'll have to check that out, man. Thanks. Texas Tootin'. Yes. I love that name. Texas Tootin' sends in $9.99 and says, hey, Dave, how do you feel about this big resurgence of great original movies? Indie studios are knocking it out of the park, and it just seems to be getting better. I believe we are in a renaissance. Yeah, I mean, you know, some movies are better than others, but yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of original, look, there's always, I mean, the more you make of something, the more garbage of that something there will be, because there's more of it. But yeah, there's wonderful original work out there, whether it's in streaming television, right? The new television, whether it's, in TV or whether it's in movies, there's great original shit out there. Usually what happens is that when somebody says Hollywood doesn't do anything original anymore, it's again, I'm going to take a nuanced approach. They're not wrong, but they're not totally right either, right? So in my estimation, I think when somebody says Hollywood doesn't, make anything original anymore, that's probably because that individual, I'm speculating, but I think there's some truth to this. That individual is usually only dialed in to the mainstream Hollywood machine, right? The mainstream Hollywood marketing machine. Yeah, I mean, if all you pay attention to are the big tentpole films, your Marvel, your DC, your Star Wars, your big tentpole horror movies, like mainstream stuff, then it is going to seem like there's no original ideas. But that's not true, right? There's a lot of original work coming out of the independent production studio, independent production companies, indie films that'll be seen at like South by Southwest or TIFF or whatever, and they're looking for distribution. And there's a lot of wonderful original horror films out there, and they do come along. And if they get picked up by a major studio to distribute them, then that's when we kind of, we notice them. But generally speaking, a lot of like the smaller films, they don't have the marketing dollars behind them. I mean, that's why we don't see them, right? If your movie costs $5 million to make, you're not going to spend $50 million to market it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not that there isn't original stuff. There's tons of it. It's just that it's not in your face every second with a TikTok vid, or with an Instagram ad or something, because they don't have those marketing dollars to do that. Right? So you have to search for it. You've got to go looking for it. Or, you hear it by word of mouth. Hey, Bob said Joan watched this really cool film on Netflix called, I don't know, I'm just going to make something up, like, the skull coffee, or the skull jug, or something weird. You're like, a skull coffee, what the hell is that? And then you go and you check it out, and it's this little independent movie, and the independent production company comes up onto the screen. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? And then you watch it, like, holy fuck, that was amazing. What the fuck, right? Now at the same time, you could also take the angle of semantics as well, right? You could say that, well, yeah, but technically that's not a Hollywood film, right? That's outside of the studio system, and they're independent production companies, and it doesn't become a Hollywood film until it gets picked up by a distributor, and that distributor is Paramount or Universal, and all of a sudden it's a Hollywood film. We can play, there's truth to that, right? There is truth to that. If I went off and made an original horror short like we want to do, and we crowdfunded it, or we got some funding and some grants from some art councils or some film funding programs or whatever, and we went out and made a horror movie that was fantastic, well, it's not a Hollywood film. Hollywood didn't make it, right? So there is truth to that, absolutely. Hollywood does produce, even Hollywood does produce some original stuff. You just got to go looking for it, but in terms of like a larger pool of original work, yeah, I would look at the independent circuit. Like just Google, like, a list of like independent, like really great, like highly critically acclaimed independent films or something like that, and you'll come up with some great stuff. So there's truth to it, but there still is a lot of original stuff out there. People just have to, you can't wait for it to come to you. You have to go find it in a lot of cases, in my opinion. And that's just because they don't have the marketing dollars to showcase that. Let's see here. Where Nomad has gone before sends in $2, says, is your P.O. box under VoiceMann? I want to send you a DVD. Send me a private message, okay? And I'll try to get you an address. The P.O. box, yeah, my P.O. box at the moment is, I didn't renew my P.O. box because what ended up happening is, like when I first got it, it was great because I was getting stuff, but obviously things began to slow down, and I found that I was just paying for a PO box and I wasn't getting anything. So I didn't know why I was paying for this PO box, right? So send me a message, a DM, let me know what the DVD is, and we'll see if we can get it worked out. What is it here? Oh, been on for an hour and 11 minutes. An hour and 11 minutes. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Let's see here. What do we got going down? Just scrolling back to see if there's anything. Wayne Turner says, James Wan and Lee Winnell, also known as creators of Saw, that's true, and my fellow Aussies, should make a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy Innocent When Alive, played by Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if the future of Elm Street is theatrical. I really don't. I mean, listen, whoever has the rights, whoever ends up getting the rights is definitely going to, I mean, that's where you make your money. They want to get Freddy back on the big screen. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know if the future is theatrical. You know, I'm not really sure if that's the way to go. A series for Freddy might be the way to go. A series for Freddy might be the way to go. I don't know. We'll see. But that's what I'm thinking. Robert the Wolfman. Great to see Robert in here. Aaron Click says, but Dave, why is a cuss word so important? I would have changed it early on so I could make money. Listen, if two dudes and some bullshit were getting 60 and 70,000 views every show, I might have changed it. But when you're averaging like 3,000 and 4,000 views a show, which is still a lot of views, you know, it's good. It's, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. But I mean, you might make, I don't know, $2.50 or something, if that, you know what I mean? So it's not as people who are, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying generally, people I think generally speaking, I think there's a lot of people that have a sort of a false idea of how much money YouTubers make, you know? Because I've been accused, oh, Dave, you're raking in the dough on YouTube. Why don't you just fund that movie yourself? It's like, no, guys, I have like nearly 30,000 subs, and, you know, I'm averaging I think my average when I put out a video, it depends on what the video is, but there was a point where I was averaging like 6,000 views a video or something like that. It's not a lot, guys. It's not a lot. And you can go to my Social Blade and check and see for yourself and go, oh yeah, no, he's only making like a couple of bucks like every time he posts a video. I might make like, you know, from ad revenue alone, I don't know, maybe $50 a month or something like that. If that, you know, it depends how much I post, right? Like it's not a lot. It's not a lot from ad revenue minus the super chat, right? The super chats is different. But it's not a lot. So yeah, I mean, I would be like, again, you got to be posting like every day or regularly like getting like, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 views, 100,000 views. Like if every video you post gets that, then you might make, you know, maybe a couple $100 off that video or something. Right. But you're not, I mean, no, you're not. If you're only getting like 3,000 views a video or 4,000 views a video, you're not, you know, you're not, I'm in the money. No. It's not how it works. But I appreciate that some people out there think that I'm rolling in the dough, you know, in terms of my YouTube channel. That's nice. So yeah, that's why I was like, I don't care. It's not like we'd make much off of it anyway. Oh, I got text messages. Oh, hang on. Edward Nito sends in $10, says, real tomato ketchup, Eddie? Nothing but the best. I was just watching this on my break at work earlier. I hope you're doing well, Dave. I am, Edward. Thanks for sending that in, man. Yeah, fuck. That's one of my favorite comedies. Like, my favorite comedies are like Planes, Trades, and Automobiles, The First Vacation, Beverly Hills Cop. I'm definitely like, most of my favorite stuff is from the 80s. I think the 80s and the 90s. When it comes to horror movies, definitely the 80s. A couple movies in the 70s, but definitely the 80s. Although there's some good horror movies now, though, too. There are some good ones now. Yeah. Ooh, real tomato ketchup, Eddie? Nothing but the best. Fuck. Troy Grubb sends in $9.99. Thanks, Troy. And says, do you think it's a missed opportunity that there will be no new Nightmare on Elm Street movie for the 40th anniversary next year? Do you think within the next 5 years, someone will pick up the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street? Do I think it's disappointing? Yes. And do I think someone will in the next 5 years? Yeah. Like within the next 5 years, like anytime between now and, 2027 or whatever? Yes. For sure. Yeah. No, you got to. You have to bring Freddy back, right? And obviously we are, and I say we, it's not, I mean, I'm not a producer, but obviously with Dylan's New Nightmare, we're doing our very best to whet the appetites of Fred heads all around the world and Freddy fans all around the world. So, it's exciting. And I think you guys are going to like it. I haven't seen it like all put together with, VFX and sound, but I've seen assembly edits of the movie and it looks fun. It looks like, I think it's going to do its job. Let's just put it that way. I think it's going to do its job. And so that's coming at some point this summer. You got a teaser and a trailer coming for Dylan's New Nightmare very soon. And so, yeah, I'm excited. And who knows what'll come from that? You never know. Who knows? Powers that be may see that and go, oh, that's an interesting idea. Let's get in touch with these guys. You never know. So, but yeah, to answer your question. Oh, speaking of Freddy. There he is. That's my favorite look of Freddy too. That's the way he looks in Elm Street too. Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be great to have him back. And I'm just saying, I'm available. I am available to become Freddy Krueger. And I'm serious about that. Like, I mean, it's cool, like, again, I mean, the probability is always low because, it's a tough industry. But playing Freddy Krueger, and I've said this before, but playing Freddy in Dylan's New Nightmare, there's no better way to audition for it. Like it's for all intents and purposes, it's kind of my audition for the job, in some ways, right? Unofficially, but I mean, you can't get a better audition than that, right? The prosthetic makeup, playing opposite Miko Hughes and and they're doing the whole, I mean, you can't, it's great. It's great. So you never know. I am available. I'm almost 44. I'm a good age. Just saying, I'm available. Of course, you guys will be the judge after you see the movie, but I think you'll like what I'm cooking. Movie Chat and More Part 2 sends in £5. Thanks, Richard. Says, would you be more spooked at a vampire at your window, a werewolf at your door, a ghost in your closet, or Dominic, yeah, Othanian Gerard directing It's Me, Billy 2. I would be more spooked. I would be more spooked at a werewolf at my door. Yeah, I think the werewolf at my door would be pretty spooky. I think that would be pretty spooky. I'm just saying. I think it would be pretty spooky. All right. Let me see here. Let's keep this train going, shall we? Yeah, Raymond N says, contact Warner Brothers. I don't think Warner Brothers has the rights. They might. Oh, is my autofocus been on this whole time? Let me just I think my fucking camera. I don't think Warner Brothers has the right. It has been on this whole time. My apologies. The Elm Street rights are back with the Craven estate. So it's very much like sort of like Malick has all the cards now, right? So what he chooses to do with it, I don't know. That's the impression I get with A Nightmare on Elm Street. No studio has the rights. I mean, there might be, anyways, that's a whole other episode. But as far as I know, that's what it is. So whoever's got these rights, as my understanding is, they're just looking for the right opportunity and the right project. So I don't know if they're actively seeking pitches, if they're actively seeking it out, or if they're just letting it go by for a bit, or maybe there's something in the works that we don't even know about, right? Because remember, 9 times out of 10, when Bloody Disgusting writes an article that says, Elm Street franchise is, cast this, it's direct. That stuff's been in the works for a while. It's like when we made the post. I mean, this is a smaller scale, but it's like when we made the post about Lynn Griffin yesterday, joining the cast of It's Me, Billy. We didn't just decide that yesterday. That was decided, a little while ago, right? We had been working on Lynn, and now we reached out to her last week, but the idea of getting Lynn on board, it's been a while. It's been a while, right? Things have been working for, a little bit, right? So again, that's a much smaller version, right? But the principle is still the same. And so when you get to the Hollywood level, and you're like, a lot of the times when they make announcements of said project has entered development, or said project has been greenlit, or said actor has come on board, or said director has done, you're just hearing about it now, but that's been in the works for like a month or something. You know what I mean? So maybe right now something's going on. Wheels are turning, phone calls are, phones are ringing, emails are being sent, meetings are happening right now, but we're not going to find out about it until August. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that, who knows, right? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, you never know, man. You never know. You'll never know. All right, let's keep this trend going for a little bit longer. Let's keep this train going for a little bit longer. Ow! Robert Thidoff says, Dave, if they release Halloween 1978, do you think they may advertise it as starring Academy Award winner Jamie Lee Curtis? No. Well, I mean, maybe, but no, I don't think so. There's no need to. Do that. Not unless they were hoping it would rake in tons of money. No. There's no need. But now I say that and watch they do. I mean, could I see them doing it? Yes. Would I be surprised if they did it? A little bit. But then I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, But I don't think, they don't need to do that. They don't fucking need to do that. Enough of this shit. Let's see here. Next Gen Studio says, I actually think The Nightmare Ends would be kind of a cool title or a tagline for the final movie. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But they don't want it to end, right? They want to see, that's the thing, again, we've talked about this before, but it's true. When you're looking at, listen, I know people want Robert Englund back. I get that, but to what end? Right? No studio, whoever reboots Elm Street in whatever capacity doesn't want to do just one movie. Now, if they end up doing just one movie because it's a colossal failure, okay, you know what I mean? But that's never the plan. They whether it's a series, whether it's a new set of films, they want a series, right? They want a new franchise. Robert is not the answer. You can get a legacy. Sure, you could probably get a legacy sequel with him. Sure. But, I love Robert Englund. I've never met him. Love the guy to death. He's a horror legend. No doubt about it. He deserves all the accolades and respect for that role and what he's done at cons and how friendly and he's amazing. He's amazing, right? I don't want to see him as Freddy Krueger again. Do I think he could do it? Sure. Yeah. Could he sit in a makeup chair for 5 hours and get that slop plastered on his face and go out there and go and do it? Yeah, of course he could do that. Of course he could. But his audition for that, and again, could he, lose 20 pounds and get into real game fight? Yeah, of course he could. But that's what he'd have to do. He's older now. He's 75 and, he's got a little bit of a tummy on him now and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever. Knock yourself out, dude. It doesn't matter. That's what happens when we all get older, right? It's fine. But when he was Freddy on the Goldbergs 4 years ago, he could still do it, but it looked kind of, because he was a bit heavier, I don't know. It just wasn't the same. It's like the time's passed. And that's not personal. And I don't think he would be offended by that. He's a professional. He's a classically trained actor, I believe. He's been in this business for decades. He knows how it works. Right? He knows what it's about. I look at him and I go, yeah, he can still do it, but he just looks like we need somebody different. We need somebody younger, not Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's like 64 or whatever he is. Not Bacon. We need somebody younger. Just saying. I just think you need to start fresh. Now there's many ways you could cast Robert in it as like a cameo, kind of a cute, kind of like, or something like that or whatever, like a passing of the torch. I don't know. There's lots of things you can do. I just think for the longevity of the Elm Street franchise, I don't think Robert's the answer. If you really want to do just one and done film, and that's all you're actually going to do, well then, okay, sure. Get Robert, get him into game shape and do it. But the man is nearly 80. So at some point, we're going to have to accept that life goes on. Roles get recast. Do I believe somebody can do justice? 100%. 100%. I absolutely believe that. And 100%. I absolutely believe somebody can do it. 100%. Yep, I do. But yeah, I just don't know if I just think he's too old. He's too old, But famous last words, right? Famous last words. Maybe he gets cast, he doesn't. He's fucking phenomenal. I think for Robert, the best thing for him is to go back to Scary Freddy. I don't know if I want to see him as clearly as I saw him on the Goldbergs. I don't know if I want to see that. Do you know what I mean? It's just something I don't want to see. It just looked a little off to me. He could still do it. It was cute. It was fun. It was like, but it's just like, it's time to move on. And he knows that. He's not stupid. He knows that. He's a professional. He knows that. 100%. That time comes for all of us. Father time comes for all of us, in many different areas and facets. And he looks at it and he goes, yeah, could I do it? Sure. But are we going to be watching the movie going, this is cool, but yeah, it kind of looks like a little bit of a chunky older Robert being Freddy. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want that. We don't want that. Because then your suspension of disbelief is just going to go out the window. So that's how I feel about it, and Robert knows that too. But hey, I'm open, man. I'm open and I'm available. I'm just saying. Raymond M sends in $2, says, thoughts on Jackie Earle Haley, just in general or as Freddy? I think you mean as Freddy. I thought he was all right. Let's put it this way. I'm in the camp and in agreement with people that I do not believe that the problem with that movie is Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy. That doesn't mean that every moment he's Freddy is great, but he's not the issue. He did a good job. There's a lot of other issues with that movie. Anthony T sends in $2, says, are you excited about the Taylor Swift, what is it, Eras Tour? How do you pronounce that? There's a couple of different ways I think that could be pronounced. No, I couldn't give a shit about Taylor Swift and her music. I'm glad that she's touring. I'm glad that she's out there and she's rocking it and making music, and for all her millions of fans around the world, but I could not care less. But I wish her the best of luck. I wish her the best of luck. Let me see here. I didn't miss any super chats. Have I missed any super chats? I don't think I have. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Brandon H. You can do it, Dave. Listen, I don't mean, hopefully people will understand. I do not mean this in a braggadocious way at all. Okay. I am not saying this in any sort of arrogant way at all. Not at all. I'm thinking about it as an actor. Okay. I've been an actor for 22 years. I started out as an on-camera actor and then went into voiceover. I'm thinking as an actor, there is no doubt in my mind, especially after the experience of shooting Dylan's New Nightmare. There's no doubt in my mind. I fully believe 100% I could play Freddy Krueger and do it justice. 100%. No problem. Now, somebody may watch this part of this stream and look at that and go, oh, Dave, he's so fucking arrogant. No, has nothing to do with that. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm not saying you would agree. I'm not saying that you would like it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying as an actor, I think about the experience. I think about how I felt going in. I think about how I felt in the makeup and the performance. I think about how everybody responded to me. I think about how everybody's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I am confident that I could do it. I don't mean that in an arrogant way at all. I just mean that as an actor, I believe I can do the job. It's like, take whatever job it is that you do, right? And it's like, is there ever a point where you're like, I'm confident I can do this job. I can do this job. I can deliver it to my boss on time. No, I'm fully confident I can do that job. It's not arrogant. It's just, you know your skills. You know what you can do, what you can't do, your strengths and your weaknesses, right? And you're like, no, I can do that job. Yeah. That is what I mean. That's how I look at it. I am absolutely confident I can do the job and do it justice. That's what I mean. So don't take that out of context. Don't go, Dave, always. No, it's not. I'm thinking about as a job, as a role, as a character. 100%. 100%. Whether I'll get the opportunity to actually do it officially, who knows? But I would love to do it. I would love. Are you kidding? You think I turn that down? I mean, maybe I'll only get one movie out of it, like Jackie Earle Haley. I don't know, but that's a phone call I'm taking and a job I'm accepting, if you know what I'm saying. That would be really cool. That would be really, really cool. But I have a lot of once the movie is out, I have a lot of behind the, well, and there's also a feature-length behind-the-scenes documentary on Dylan's New Nightmare that they're putting together. So you're going to see like a lot of behind-the-scenes shit, which is really awesome. But I took some video of myself on my phone in the makeup room after I had the makeup on, and I was just farting around, just to kind of get used to, because you really do, like, that's one of the things that I said, and I believe I think I said this on some streams before I even went to Phoenix to shoot the movie. I had said that one of the things I'm most looking forward to is being in that makeup chair, having that shit applied to me, and losing myself in the character, so that when I look in the mirror, I don't see Dave McRae anymore. Dave McRae ceases to exist. Dave McRae is not there. And when you get that kind of makeup done on you, it's very easy to then lose yourself in that role. So that's what happened. And so that's what I was doing for about 10 minutes in the makeup room when I was all ready, waiting for, my cue to go out into the studio to do some work. I was just farting around on my phone. So I have some really good stuff on my phone that I'll show you once it's all out there, right? I'll show you, and and I do a few Freddy things, and even myself, like looking at myself, I'm like, fuck, that's like Freddy. You know what I mean? And again, I don't say that in a, it's because I'm underneath that, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh God, that's pretty good. Like if I do say so myself, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? And because it's so easy, and I have the same body type. Robert is he's a bit more broader in the shoulders than I am, but I'm 5'8", 155 pounds or 153 pounds, whatever I am, right? I'm not, you know what I mean? I have the same sort of look, right? Like early Freddy look back in, the 80s. So that helps to kind of create the illusion too, and so yeah, it's. I can't wait to show you guys that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But we can dream, right? We can dream. I'm like, oh, that'd be so amazing. Can you imagine? I take you guys with me. I'd be fucking on this channel and shit. Like, let's all fucking go. Come on. It'd be amazing. It'd be awesome. You never know. You never know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no, it felt great to play the role, and hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys like it, right? Hopefully you guys, even if I don't end up ever playing, him officially, hopefully it is successful enough that we can complete the story, and I can go back and play him again and do other cool things. And, because obviously Dylan's New Nightmare it's like a chapter 1 kind of thing too, right? So yeah, it's cool shit. Bum, bum, ba, 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 ba. I'm loving it. Did I miss any super chats? Jackie Earl Haley, are you excited about the Taylor Swift concert? No, I don't think I did. Because usually people are like, you missed a super chat, you gotta, yeah. But I don't believe I've missed any super chats. I don't think I have anyway. Let me know. Let me know if I have. Please let me know. I don't think I have though. Ryan Kinney says, I remember watching you do the laugh and stuff way before Dylan's New Nightmare was a thing. And I was like, wow, I want to see Dave be Freddy. I'm really excited for Dylan's New Nightmare. Thanks, man. Yeah, well, I mean, and I was just farting around. Like I wasn't actually, when you see me, farting around as Freddy and doing the laugh and all, I was just farting around. I was just riffing essentially, right? Like I was just like what, a guitarist does, and he just kind of, you know what I mean? I wasn't taking it seriously. But Cecil saw me do that because initially I wasn't the first Freddy. He had somebody else in mind, not somebody online, but a friend of his. And then he saw me and he was like, oh, he can, now that doesn't mean I can play Freddy. Just because I can laugh like Freddy and do a couple of Freddy-isms doesn't mean I can be Freddy, right? Those things are not, they don't automatically go hand in hand. But he saw something in my farting around that he just was like, oh, I want to kind of audition him or talk to him about it. So I said, yeah, okay, sure. And then when he offered me the job, I would have said no. I said yes because I think Cecil's awesome. I said yes because obviously Miko Hughes, was involved, right? So that elevates the credibility of the project. Vincent DeSanti is involved. And of course, he just finished Never Hike Alone. And I'm like, okay, so there's a good team here. This is going to be a professional product, right? Because I had just entered development on It's Me, Billy. So my plate was full. And I knew the caliber of film I wanted to deliver with that, right? And I didn't want anything to take me away from that. But then when I realized that these guys over here were trying to do the same thing, but with Freddy, I was like, oh, and they want me to be Freddy? Okay, I'm in. You know what I mean? I couldn't have said, I was stupid to say no. But it's more than just laughing like him on YouTube, right? There's a lot more that goes into it. And certainly getting that schlop put on your face, that helps, man. Like you lose yourself in that. Because you look into the mirror, and like I said, all you see is Freddy. Well, you saw the images, right? The images that were released at the end of November, that one where I got my mouth open and I'm looking back, you look at that image and everybody was like, holy fuck. Like, that's Dave McRae? That looks like Freddy. Well, yeah, that's what I looked at it. That's what I saw when I looked in the mirror, right? So when you see that looking back at you, it's not hard, to tap into my, experience and my knowledge as an actor and then just see what I can do, and everybody was pleased, if I do say so myself. One of the biggest compliments I got a lot of compliments actually while I was on set, but Miko at the end during the rap party, he was doing a speech and he turned to me and he goes, Dave, as far as I'm concerned, you are Freddy Krueger. And that was a really, it meant a lot, right? Because he's actually played opposite Robert, and so for him to say that meant a lot, So now again, I don't say any of this in a braggadocious way at all, because, I'm very aware of how the business works, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? There could be people out there that watch me and go, nah, But as I've always said from day one, my job was never to do a Robert Englund impression, because that's setting yourself up to fail, right? That's not my job. My job is to bring the essence of the Freddy character. So when you look at me, you might consciously go, yeah, I know it's not Robert, but holy shit, it's definitely Freddy, right? That's my job. That was my job. And I believe I achieved that. But you know what? This is the internet. This is, it's art, right? When you release your movie to the world, whatever it is, some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people, you know what I mean? It's just, that's the way, there's no doubt there's going to be people that are going to watch and go, oh, fucking Dave McRae, fucking shit. It's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. But I believe, in my mind, I believed I was doing justice to the character. And I got that confirmation from people like Miko and Cecil and Vince as well, who said, nah, dude, like, you were great. You know what I mean? And that meant a lot. That meant a lot, because I don't want to let anybody down. I mean, it's big shoes, man. It's big shoes to fill, but it's also like, if Freddy doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. It doesn't matter how good Miko is. And he was fucking fantastic, by the way. He was great. But if Freddy doesn't work, do you know what I mean? So it was big shoes to fill, a lot riding on my shoulders, but I buckled down, did what I had to do, and, we'll let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? We'll let the chips fall where they may. Raymond M says, when can we donate money to Billy Chapter 2? May the 1st, Raymond. May the 1st is when the Indiegogo campaign for It's Me Billy Chapter 2 launches. So yeah. So just like I said, just start putting coins in piggy banks and saving some money and all that kind of stuff. That's when it launches, folks. It's Me Billy Chapter 2, May the 1st. I think it's a Tuesday or something like that? Monday or Tuesday, I think, is when it launches. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And for those of you that don't know, that maybe don't follow me on social media, Lynn Griffin, the woman who played Claire with the bag over her head in the original, she is returning. She's not playing the same character, of course. She's playing that woman's sister. But she will be in It's Me Billy Chapter 2, if we can raise the money, of course. We have to raise our production budget. But she's going to be in it as well, which is really cool. Lynn Griffin returning to the Black Christmas franchise. Lynn's been in, Black Christmas, Curtains. She was in the horror movie Curtains. She was in Dream House with... what's his face there? James Bond, Daniel Craig. She was in Strange Brew, that old Canadian classic with Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. She's done a lot of theater and television. She's been on NYPD Blue and all sorts of stuff. All sorts. She's great. She's great. And can't wait to work with her. She's returning to the Black Christmas universe. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Brooke Scarlett says, Dave, do you know when we will get a trailer for DNN, or when they will release the film? Yes. So I don't want to set unrealistic expectations, but I will say that you are getting a teaser trailer for Dylan's New Nightmare very soon. Like, I'm talking about like tomorrow or Friday soon, but it's entirely possible that it might not be tomorrow or Friday. Okay. Hear me say that. It's entirely possible it may not be tomorrow or Friday. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if it is. Okay? There's just a couple things going on that they're, and then whenever that teaser drops, 1 week from that teaser, or maybe 5 days from that teaser, I don't know, you will get the official trailer. So it's soon, Brooke. Now, it might not be tomorrow or Friday. Maybe it'll be next week or the week. I'm not sure because again, I'm not a producer on the project. There's only so much things I know, or so much things I know, so many things I know. But just like be alert. Like, you know what I mean? Be alert. Stay alert. Stay safe. Have I got all the super chats? I think I did, right? I always say that, but I just want to make sure because I hate missing super chats. I think I did. Let me just go over to the...
Go to the viewer activity. The last super chat came to you. Yes, it was the Taylor Swift tour. The Taylor Swift tour.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. What's the time here? What do we got? All right. Yep. About another 15 minutes. Then we'll wrap it up. 15 minutes and we'll wrap it up. Raymond says, I keep thousands in my dresser. Don't trust banks. Dude, if you don't trust banks, well, you're going to have, because obviously we can't accept cash, right? So you're going to have to, however much you want to donate, you'll have to figure out how to, digitally send that, whether it's, I know, obviously Indiegogo takes, debit and credit and probably PayPal as well. There's various ways you can pay. And remember too, folks, I say this all the time on Indiegogo campaigns, if you got extra cash or, extra money and you want to give it to the campaign, but you're like, oh, but I already got a Blu-ray and a t-shirt. I don't want to get another Blu-ray and a t-shirt. You don't have to. There's a little button that says donate here. So sometimes this happened with the other campaign as well. Sometimes people, they've got their t-shirt, they've got their poster, their Blu-ray, whatever, right? And they're just like, well, I don't need any more, but I have some extra money I would love to give the guys. You can do that. You can hit the donate here button and then just donate. You can donate $5, $100, $30, whatever, right? And it will go towards the campaign. So keep that in mind too, because I did, and I only mentioned that because last time I had somebody reach out and go, yeah, dude, I donate more, but I don't want like 5 Blu-rays. And I'm like, oh, I said, you can just donate. And he's like, oh, okay, great. I don't know if he actually sounded like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I only got 5 Blu-rays. Whoa, like Bill and Ted, dude. I don't know if he actually sounded like that or not, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Chester Franklin Jr. says, Dave, what happened to Shelby and Malika from It's Me Billy Part 1? Will they be back in Chapter 2? I can't say anything. Because I don't want to ruin it. Well, no, it's not a spoiler. They're dead, Chester. They're dead. So, yes. But I will not say any more than that. I will not say any more than that. Raymond says, oh yeah, I got that covered. I leave some money in my bank for fun. Great. Great to see Raymond. Great to see my man, Raymond, my man, going hard into the paint. Raymond's going to come up. He's going to step up. That's it. We're going to do it. Raymond is going to do it. Raymond's going to donate $9 million. No, I'm just kidding. You imagine somebody dropped a $9 million bomb. I'd be like, we could make like $1 million. I'd want to like give that. I'd be like, I can't take this. What the fuck? Be crazy. Edward Nito sends in $10. Says, Dave, do you have a favorite Godzilla suit behind the 84-85 suit? I've always liked the Mothra versus Godzilla suit. I just love how menacing he looks in that film. The roar is awesome too. Yeah, Godzilla versus Mothra is good. Yeah. My favorite suit is the 84-85. See, I was going to mention the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters, but that's not a suit. Obviously, he's digital. But I do like the look of him in that movie. What's the one? I don't know. It's hard to say. Edward. I think the suit in Gigon versus Megalon, Godzilla versus Megalon's not bad. That's the one with Jet Jaguar. I mean, these movies are corny as shit, but I don't like the Godzilla versus King Kong suit. Not a big fan of that Godzilla suit. Not a big fan of that Godzilla suit. The 1969 or 68 or whatever it was, or 63 or 2, whatever. It's the 60s. Was not a fan of that Godzilla suit. Was not a fan of that King Kong suit either. Oh God, the Japanese had some dreadful King Kong suits. What's that one? Is it Godzilla versus Gigon? The one where Godzilla teams up with, what's the name of the, like, he's like a hedge or like a porcupine, or he's got like the shell with the spikes on it. And there's he's like, it's Gigon and King Ghidorah or King Ghidorah. What's the name of that? I think it's called Godzilla versus Gigon. I think that suit's all right. That's not a bad suit. That's a pretty good suit. I'll say that. Ethan LeBlanc says, I got one of my kitties up for sale in the market, so we're all set. Can you imagine? Imagine somebody actually, I'd be like, no, dude, don't, like, you don't have to do, I'm selling my fucking leg. I'm selling my leg, man. He's sawing off his leg. And like I always say to people, like when it comes to, and I will mention this again many times, listen, if you are somebody, if you are an individual that is in a position where you are totally comfortable with supporting a big tier, like, you know, an associate producer tier, or like, you know, an executive, well, obviously that's amazing. And you can do that. Well, we're going to welcome it. Right. But always remember, like I say to everybody, if, like, I have 28, almost 29, almost 30,000 subscribers, right? I have like 3,500 followers on Facebook. If like just 900 people, just 900 bought like a Blu-ray, we'd probably have like 3/4 of our budget. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like picked up the Blu-ray perk, I mean, right? Now, that's a lot of Blu-rays we'd have to get out, but do you know what I mean? So always remember, sometimes it's, if a lot of people come in at a low, not low, but, you know, a lower price point or a lower perk, you could totally do it, you know? I mean, if 2,500 people all bought like the digital download perk, we'd probably have like half our budget, or, you know, close to it or something like that. I think, anyway, let me just see. Because I think the digital download perk, I think the price point's going to be like, I think it's $20 Canadian, but like maybe that's like 14 US or something. Hang on, $20 times. Yeah, like if 2,500 people spent $20 Canadian, which is like I said, about 15 US or something, that's $50,000. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, like sometimes it's not as hard as people think it is, right? And I totally respect that. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's hard to get 25 people. It's hard to get 2,500 people to be interested in anything, especially a Black Christmas film, right? But I'm just saying that, you know, I always tell people that, like, keep that in mind, that sometimes it's just rallying, you know, our base and to get, you know, it's not, I think some people feel that basically what I'm trying to say is that some people feel that they can't, you know, if they can't afford like a $500 tier or something, well, you know, I'm not going to make a difference with my $20. And it's like, no, yeah, you will. Because if 500 of you all spend $20, that adds up, right? It's all about adding up. So that's what I always say to people, like, always remember that, you know, always remember that. You know, it doesn't, you know, nobody has to throw long bombs into the end zone. Sometimes it's little short passes that get you to the, you know, the goal line, right? So, you know, but we are certainly not going to, you know, shy away from somebody who has deep pockets. That's for sure. Let me see. Chester Franklin Jr. says, Dave, my last question for you. Do you have a favorite scene from the movie The Fugitive? My favorite is the chase scenes. Yeah, the chase scenes are all great. I would say maybe the train scene, the train crash. You know, I really like when he's in the hospital too, and he's shaving off his beard, and he's, you know, he becomes somebody else. You know, when he's in there, just, yeah, the whole cat and mouse game, like the whole cat and mouse between Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. Everything's great about that movie. It's a great movie. It's a classic. I mean, it's fantastic. It's one of Harrison Ford's best. It sort of put Tommy Lee Jones on the map as well. I mean, he had been in a lot of movies before that, but it kind of took Tommy Lee Jones's career to the next level. Because wasn't he nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that movie? Did he win? I can't remember if he won for that. But I think he did. Raymond M says, Baby Godzuki. Are you talking about the creature that was helping? No, it wasn't Godzuki. That's not who I'm talking about. It was like a porcupine or like some sort of like dinosaur or something, if you're talking about that. I'm not sure. Tom Ungurian says, Adam Wingard did a good job making you feel bad for long when Godzilla was on top of him like it's over, bro, but I did my girl and I did, bro. I think I know what you're trying to say. I love Godzilla King. The 2000, I don't understand people's problem with that movie. Oh, the humans are, it's like, it's a Godzilla movie. What do you want? What the hell do you want? What do you want? You want Shawshank Redemption or something? I thought it was great. Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 2019 film, I personally think is the best one in the MonsterVerse so far. I think it's better than the 2014 Godzilla. I think the 2014 Godzilla movie had so much potential. There's that fucking trailer. The trailer for the Godzilla movie in 2014 was fantastic. Do you remember that trailer? Oh, it was so fucking good. The movie was good in moments. But I think it's better than that movie. I think it's better than Kong Skull Island. I think it's better than Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah, I think it's the best one. I do. I love the King of the Monsters one. Edward Nito sends in $10, says, yes, when he teams up with Angurius, is that it? That era of movies was so cheesy. I'll admit that there were some low points in the Godzilla series. Angurius? Angurius? Is that how you pronounce that? Okay, yeah, and they're on yeah, and there's like these Japanese like terrorists or something that turn into like cockroaches at the end or something like that, and there's like a fake Godzilla thing that shoots like beams out and shit like that, and they have to climb. I taped that. That was on. I remember I was like 5 years old, and I had this little friend I used to play with across the street. Her name was Lisa Schock. Hello, Lisa, if you're watching, because she's on my Facebook, and she called me. This is like 1985 or 4 or something, and she's like, Dave. Godzilla's on TV right now, because she knew I liked Godzilla. So I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I think I just hung up on her. I was like, oh, sorry, babe, gotta go. So I went and I taped, and I still have that VHS tape. It had like a bunch of He-Man cartoons on it and Three's Company episodes, and it had that Godzilla movie. I think I taped over some of it, but it had that well, no, I think it's because I tuned in late. So it kind of, anyway, yep, loved it. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah. So that one always stands out to me. But yes, there was an era of Godzilla. They were just cheesy as fuck. Cheesy as hell. At least the new era of monster movies and the Godzilla movies has brought back Godzilla to be a formidable foe. Do you know what I mean? At least he's like, he's awesome again. He's cool again, That's how I feel about it anyway. That's how I feel about it anyway. That's how I see it. That's how I see it, you damn son of a bitch. All right, I think I've got all the super chats. I've got all the questions. Folks, that is going to do it for me here on this Wednesday night Q&A hangout. I want to thank, of course, my great moderators on the channel, Frank Riker, Tab of the Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, Cody Snyder, and Andrew Stevens. Thank you for doing what you guys do. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the super chat questions that came in tonight. I really appreciate them as well. And of course, some of those non-super chat ones that I was able to get to, I appreciate all of you. Sincerely, I really do. Remember, we don't always have to agree on everything. We don't always have to like the same things, but whoever you are, wherever you're from, you are welcome here. You are welcome here if you're a Halloween 5 fan or a Resurrection fan or whatever. I don't care. You are a movie fan. You're a horror fan. You're welcome here. And I really do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. So I will be back soon. I think I have a video coming tomorrow. I recorded it the other day. It's my top 5 jump scares. Ooh. Look out for that. Either tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure yet. But be on the lookout for that as well. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night, guys. Have a great rest of your week. And I will... Oh, yeah. Hey, if you want to follow me on social media, you can. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. That'll do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Alrighty. Cheers.